Colorado, Lance Ringnald against Kyle Asano. A difference of 2.05 advantage Ringnald. On the women's side, Brandy Johnson leads Margaret Ulett by 9/10 of a point. And right now, the men are ready to move to their third event. The women are on their their third event, rather. The men are on their fourth. Brandy Johnson's up first on the balance beam. She'll be followed by Margaret Ulett, and the men will move over to vaulting.
Brandy scored a 9.825 in the preliminaries of this competition on the balance beam. This is the one event that she is certainly most nervous about because she's so explosive. She's a lot like marylewdretton in that they're powerful and they tend to just overpower elements and overdo things and they just go flying off the beam. Look at the power as she does 2 switch leg split leaps back to back. Watch this acro series. Back handspring layout. Nice. The judges are looking for an acro series like that, a full turn like that, a gymnastics series, which is a series of leaps, jumps, or turns, and then a mixed series, which is gymnastic elements as well as acro elements. Wow. That's the best punch front in the world on balance beam. So high and so easily done.
Makes it look easy.
There's the swing through layout to the turn and the side leap. That's a mixed series. Here's a dismount, round off tuck double. Oh, she opened up just a hair early. She was very high, had good rotation. I think she thought that she needed to open up.
Does fatigue ever play a factor when you're heading into a dismount on the beam after all that time being up there?
Certainly the physical strength is there, but in terms of mental concentration, she's already done so many beautiful elements like this, flip-flop to the layout. The round-off tuck double back, she's so powerful. Good reach, nice takeoff, good pull. She kicks out a little bit early right there, looking for the landing, and misjudged it just a little bit.
The score for Brandy Johnson's balance beam routine is 9.725. And 9.725 is just 1/10 of a point behind what she received in the preliminary rounds, but certainly good enough to keep her out in front, depending, of course, on what Margaret Ulett does, and she is up next.
This is one of her best events in the qualifying round. She scored a 9.6. Round off, back handspring onto the beam, beautiful. Here's her first acro series. Back handspring layout. There's the Y scale. We saw the men do that on floor exercise.
Margaret Ulett is 5 feet 1 inches tall. Brandy Johnson is 4'11".
Nice layout. 2 in a row. Here's the other one. Perfect, both of them. Boy, she does those very easily. There's a gymnastic series of leaps. And there's that great dismount, which we saw the other day. It's a split leap to a punch front with a 1.5 twist, or what they call a Rudy.
And what a commitment that is to come off a leap into a tumbling element.
Let's look for these combinations now. This is a back handspring to a layout that fulfills the requirement of the acro series with flight. And then we're looking for that mixed series. Here it comes in the form of a dismount. Split leap right to a Rudy. Good job. Original dismount.
And Margaret Ulett is taking the challenge quite seriously. Even though she knew she was going up against the 1989 American Cup all-around champion, she didn't bat an eye. She's out here to do her best, and we've just seen it on the balance beam. The score she wants to beat is 9.725, and the score that she gets is 9.40. So Margaret Ulett is far from quitting. She's still very close to Brandy Johnson in this semifinal matchup. Let's move over to the men's competition in the vault. The men are allowed to vault only once. Kyle Asano is up first.
Kyle Asano.
Remember, as opposed to the women, the men only get one vault, and it has to be good. Okay, he was really short of rotation, but he did a good job at getting his feet down before his nose landed on the mat. This is a vault called a Kazumatsu in the piked position. Didn't get quite the push that he needed, and he was flailing a little bit. Look at that. He does a great job at not allowing his hands to slap on the mat when he landed. That would have been a major deduction. Once again, he does the cartwheel on, backflip off in the piked position with a three-quarter turn, and he does a good job at fighting the landing.
And
saved it.
In the preliminary rounds, his vault was scored as a 9.15.
Come on, Lance.
We'll wait for the judges' numbers here. It is 9.00 for Kyle Asano on the vault. So the 17-year-old from California now can just sit back and watch as Lance Ringnald steps up to execute his only vault.
Lance does a similar vault. Let's see if we can note the differences. Powerful. There you go. That's a Kasamatsu vault. That was in a laid-out position, as opposed to Kyle's vault in the piked position. He had so much more power, he could afford to lay it out. Cartwheel on. Back with a full off. Little hop on the landing, but he keeps his body in a good straight position.
9.55.
Fine job by Kyle Asano, and the judges award him accordingly. He receives a 9.55, so he outdistanced himself from Kyle Asano by 0.55 after the vaulting event.